You're listening to the Valley Labor Report with David Story and Jacob Morrison.
Charge for the land. A population burned up, bled dry. Marginalized, multiply, and unite to fight.
Folks, welcome back to the Valley Labor Report. My name is Jacob Morrison. David Story is my co-host. He's over here on the side. We kicked him out because we are talking to Jeb Miles. He is the business manager for the Iron Workers, Local 477 in Sheffield, Alabama. They work on 4 of the 5 largest construction projects here in North Alabama, if I remember right. You'll hear their commercials during our breaks sometimes. So they're available for contracting work if you want good union labor on your job. They are, and if you're an iron worker and you want to have a good union job, you need to reach out to Jeb Miles. So Jeb, thanks for hanging out with us today.
Yes, sir, Jacob. Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yeah, you probably want to have the microphone a little bit closer to your face, but we really appreciate you coming out. So talk to us about, like I said, you are a union iron worker here in Alabama. What's it like being a union iron worker here in Alabama? Like, what are kind of some of your takeaways for folks that wouldn't know what that's like?
Well, the greatest thing about being an iron worker in general, but especially a union iron worker, you get to go see what all you've built. So most of the stuff that you see here in North Alabama was built by Local 477's members. We've been a chartered union in the International Iron Workers since 1934, so we've got a pretty deep history here in North Alabama, and anything from like the 565 bridges over here in Huntsville, most of the towers and stuff on Redstone Arsenal, we built those. The bridge going across Decatur, right there, that was us. And O'Neill Bridge in Florence. Any of the big stuff that's been built in the last 50, 60 years, anyways, was more likely done by members of my local.
Have y'all got folks out at that? They're building the parking garage in downtown Huntsville?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, we do. We've got a precast contractor over there. They had, I think last time I come through there was, I think it was 4 tower cranes, and we had iron workers on 3 of them. So they're setting most of the precast over there, which is the cast concrete that goes on the exterior. It's so we do a lot of stuff besides just structural work, like with bridges and whatnot. We do like precast and foundation work with rebar. So, we cover a lot of different facets of the industry.
Okay. So what would you say the difference is between being a union iron worker and a non-union iron worker with respect to safety, wages, control on the job, or... Yeah. One of the things I know that you mentioned is that whenever union iron workers do work, they always use American-made, union-made materials. If you get a non-union contractor, they're going to be using, kind of cheap stuff that's not made in America, that's not union-made, stuff like that. That's one benefit of getting union work, is that that you're supporting American and union labor. But what about kind of the safety and the wage aspect?
Yeah, so all of our workers work under a CBA, which has got a lot of different requirements in it. Safety, a certain set of wages, making sure that the benefits are paid in a timely manner so that our members have their insurance and all that, because all that's paid by the contractor. But, there's multiple benefits to being a union iron worker versus a non-union iron worker. Besides just the pay, typically the pay has got sometimes a $15 to $20 difference between union and non-union. So that's probably the main thing that folks go to look for, and they don't realize that these contractors that are using them out there and paying them $20 an hour, they're charging for a lot more than that. So they're just making a lot more profit. So we get guarantees in our CBAs that require them to hire so many apprentices. So if maybe you're not a journeyman iron worker up to snuff, you still get the opportunity to go to work and learn the trade. And, all of our contractors are required to subcontract to other union contractors. Same as what the fabrication aspects of it. Most of our CBAs have American-made, if not union-made, fabrication clauses in them where, they want the stuff being made over here with certain materials that are a lot better than stuff that comes from China or somewhere like that, which is that helps the whole steel industry because it puts American workers to work. So not only do we set the steel up here in North Alabama, that steel might have been fabricated or poured out in Birmingham down at one of the steel mills, and a lot of this stuff just stays extremely local with the money that comes and is generated from it. So it's a win-win for everybody in the community, especially the workers.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's that's another thing, on top of the fact that as a union worker, you're going to be making more. As a union worker, you're going to be safer. I mean, study after study has shown this. On top of, I'm sure that Brother Jeb has personal experience on how much safer it is to be a union iron worker. And I know I'm good friends with a brother here at the Steam Fitters who has been on jobs where the non-union contractors just working terribly unsafe. It's like there was one situation he told me that they were working in such an unsafe condition, and the supervisor wouldn't let them make it safer, that he had to walk off because he was like somebody's going to get killed here. That's not going to happen with a union contractor as a union iron worker. But the thing that you were talking about is that unions make sure that they give back to their community through their labor, because they use local American union-made materials, other union subcontractors, and then on top of that, outside of the labor that they work for, they give back. They volunteer their labor for local construction projects. Can you talk to us about some of that?
Yeah, we've got a pretty good drive going over in the Shoals area there for anything from elderly people needing little handrails built for them to we're just trying to be more active in the community, and we've done several projects for various cities and municipals over there that really helped update the school for security reasons, or made it to where some woman wouldn't fall off her porch when she was coming down it, and kind of trying to be a more familiar face around the areas that we live. We've got one project we're doing right now in Tuscumbia, or for the city of Tuscumbia, for a pedestrian bridge over Spring Park. The one they had there was dilapidated and really impassable, and we're working on that right now. So that'll be a pretty good thing there. We'll get recognized and get some of the kids that built it recognized.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we appreciate what you're doing, Brother Jeb. Appreciate what you're doing for your community, for your workers, for your brothers and sisters on the job. And thanks for coming out and hanging out with us today. We will be right back. This is the Valley Labor Report.
Huntsville's #1 news, talk, and weather station. WVNN Athens. WVNN FM Trinity. A Cumulus station.
Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate your time. If you want to see what we're up to throughout the week and get our snide quips about the news of the day, then you should follow us on social media. We're on Facebook at facebook.com/Valley Labor Report. We're on Twitter at Labor Reporters. I'm on Twitter at JacobM_AL. David is on Twitter at Radical Unionist. That's spelled RADICL Unionist. If you missed part of the show and want to go back and watch it later, search YouTube for The Valley Labor Report and subscribe to our channel. You can go back and watch the full show there, and we also clip segments throughout the week. And we also upload the program on more than 11 different podcasting apps. So you can see if we're on your listening platform of choice. You can go to thevalleylaborreport.transistor.fm/subscribe. And if you appreciate our work and want to help us stay on the air, then consider throwing us a couple dollars a month on patreon.com/The Valley Labor Report.